I'm Euphoria, and I'm thrilled to be sharing my Rapunzel cosplay from Disney's Tangled with you. This costume was made using spoonflower fabrics for the design in a satin and a crepe. The skirt is made out of a faux dupioni in polyester, and the wrong side of that faux dupioni was used for the puffy part of the sleeves. The lower part of the sleeves are made out of a chiffon, and it's also lined with a white crepe fabric and lots of embroidery floss. On the sleeves, which were made of the wrong side of the silk dupioni, I stitched ribbon down to make the stripes, and then on the chiffon, I embroidered that little detail. The sleeves have ended with a lace trim that was stitched and then folded over and top stitched down. On the inside, the sleeves are serged together along with a safety stitch to reduce fraying. I made the top all one piece instead of an undershirt and a corset top. It's lined with bias tape, and then below the sleeve on the inside against my body, I used power mesh to allow mobility when I raised and lowered my arms, and then hid it with the bias tape to blend it with the corset edge. This allows me to move my arms freely without getting caught. I don't like it when the lacings bunch and pull out of where they're supposed to sit, so I decided to just make that stay in place, stitch it down in different pieces. I punched them with grommet holes and the lacing just stays. This underbust seam was a pain in the butt. It has 2 darts. That's how it was animated in the movie, and I didn't like it, but I did it. I feel like it would be a lot more useful for busty people, but for small-chested women like me, it's a lot of work for little results. There's a side zip instead of having a front closure or a back closure. Invisible zipper down the side seam. Again, instead of having to do the 2 shirts, I stay stitched this back chiffon piece as a faux undershirt, and the cute little buttons down the back are a nice touch. They have interfacing to help keep them in place and not break the chiffon weave. Moving on to the skirt, I tailored it so it was very close fitted around my hips, and then went into a large panel at the base of the skirt. So when it spins, it flares out dramatically. That also gave me a whole lot more embroidery to do around the base. The lining was added mainly to protect the embroidery that I did, so it wouldn't get snagged on anything. The hem first had the white trim stitched on top, then I pressed up the remaining large 2-inch hem and hand stitched it with a cross stitch. The skirt panels were serged to finish the edges and then stitched together. The embroidery on the front and the back took a long time to do. There's an invisible zipper in the back, and that's basically it for the skirt. Moving on to my favorite part now. I'm being honest when I say that I've been researching how to do this wig for over 2 years, and the main thing I kept coming up to was people said you had to choose between having the braid on the back or over your shoulder, and I said I wanted to do both. So here we go. This wig is comprised of mainly 3 pieces. We're taking off one of the pieces now. This is to help blend the top base wig with the lower attachment. I used braids because I thought if I added just a bunch of flowers it was going to look like I was trying to hide something. I used magnets to attach pieces of hair to other parts of hair and then hid the magnet with a flower. The base of this wig is actually made out of quilting batting, which I sewed into tubes covered with jumbo braid wefts and then covered again with the color hair that I wanted to use finalized for Rapunzel. So that's the first and smallest piece. It attaches with magnets. The next thing we're going to do is unpin all of the tiny little braids that go from the very top wig around your base. We're at the point where we can actually take off that top wig, and there we go. So the main chunk of the braid is attached by a Velcro headband. This allows it to have free mobility, but still keeping it very secure on your head. This thing is a beast. Here you can see you can turn your head in all directions without any hindrance. I got the idea from a trailer hitch attaching to a truck. I didn't want to be immobilized. I had made a Jasmine wig in the past and I can't turn my head in it, and so I wanted to avoid that with this Rapunzel wig. And it also looks like you caught a big fish. Over the top of the main braid, I put a ton of tiny little braids woven through the big braids, and then 1,000,001 flowers, all hot glued in place. I smoothed down everything with watered down gel, watered down Elmer's glue. Whew, I hope you like it. I'm sure proud of it.